All right, so the big breaking news coming in is the BJP has won the trust vote, the no confidence vote in the parliament. The NDA, the total tally is that the NDA has got 325 votes, the UPA 126. There were no abstentions and a total of 451 votes were cast. So the big breaking news is that the government, the BJP government, has won the trust vote. All right, for more on this, I'm joined by WION's political editor, Karthikeya. Karthikeya, the big breaking news is that the BJP government has smoothly sailed through.
Yes, it is almost
325. So no habit. Motion is negative.
Lobbies may be open,
Now, lobbies may be open. Lobbies may be open. Now the House stands adjourned to meet on Monday, the 23rd July 2018 at 11 a.m.
All right, so the Karthikeya, the latest is that the no confidence motion against the NDA has been rejected.
Yes, the no confidence motion against NDA has been defeated. Now, for the common viewer, opposition polled in 126 votes. The ruling party got 325 votes. The total votes polled were 451 votes, which means that abstention was pretty high because we have a house of political parties were not there in the house when the voting took place. That's important. Secondly is BJP has won by a two-third, I think by 60% of the majority. And the whole, I would say, idea of Bharatiya Janata Party was to at least register a victory which is not marginal. To register a victory, they required abstentions, which they have already done, and required other political parties to vote. But this is not a new practice. When no confidence motion took place against Congress governments and UPA 1 and UPA 2, they ensured the abstentions took place either from Bahujan Samaj Party or Samajwadi Party so that the strength of the house was reduced. And similarly, they were able to manage support from other political parties. So keeping that in mind, I would say that way BJP has been able to successfully sail over this issue. This will also ensure that the parliament functions properly from Monday onwards because there are a lot of pending bills. But it also is a reminder that the political situation or the political alignment remains fragile. You have a lot of regional parties who are being assertive, but also you have a lot of regional parties who are neutral right now. They don't want to be part of either a Congress-led alliance or they don't want to go too close to Bharatiya Janata Party because they feel that political climate in the country is too fluous, too superfluous right now to be holding on to one or two particular important players. So this trust vote was not about elections. This trust vote was primarily about show of strength by the opposition. But unfortunately what has happened is that the opposition has not been completely able to showcase its strength because BJP itself was 273. Now you say 325, which means that the BJP has been able to manage a buffer of 35 to 40 MPs. So which is pretty decent enough, 325, and was able to ensure that the other parties abstained and not vote for the Congress. Because if this figure would have been like, for example, other 100 MPs would have voted for Congress, then it would have been 226 against 325. That would have come close, but this has not come close. So I think this trust vote also turned into a battle between Rahul Gandhi and Modi. There is no doubt that today Rahul Gandhi dominated the headline. His Munna Bhai movement or the Jhappi, almost led to a meltdown in internet for some time in afternoon, and it was also it helped him to take away the focus from other political players to himself. So that way, I think that exercise was fruitful for Rahul Gandhi, that he became the focus of the opposition for Bharatiya Janata Party. And Prime Minister, on the other hand, was actually replying to the most of the charges of Rahul Gandhi, though he did not venture into the issue of social lynching. He was quiet, but then he went into other things. So that way, I would say this vote of confidence was pretty different from others which I have seen in the House.
Right, Karthikeya, and we've witnessed, one can say, one of the historic sessions of the parliament today. It had everything. It had humor, it had fiery speeches, it had hugs and winks. So all in all, a lot of it has been shadowed by the spectacle, by the theatre of democracy, what actually transpired in the House today. But what really happens to the TDP from here on? Because the MP did raise one of the most crucial points while moving the motion, saying the budget allocation hasn't been adequate, and the kind of funding that the government is using for statues, that could have been probably used for the betterment of cities in Andhra Pradesh. So what happens to TDP's issue here?
I think TDP is both right and wrong, because you see, ultimately, why did TDP move away from Bharatiya Janata Party? It's also not about the fact that TDP was uncomfortable. The problem is that TDP is facing a serious challenge from YSR Reddy Congress. Basically, YSR Reddy was one of the he was the chief minister of Congress party, who defeated TDP after they ruling the state for 10 years. And Jagan Mohan Reddy, his son, is running the party. He made it into an issue. So I think that the concession which perhaps Chandrababu Naidu thought that Modi will give him, he did not get it. And that is why the whole division became very, or the whole the rift between Chandrababu Naidu and Narendra Modi came into public. And you have to see that Narendra Modi has not pampered Chandrababu Naidu in his speech. He could have said Chandrababu Naidu ji, or he could have said I spoke to my dear friend chief. He used the word Babu. There are a lot of things to be understood by that, because when he used the word Babu and when he praised TRS for being, I would say, showing maturity, he's trying to keep his political options open, because we have to understand the BJP also knows that there will be a problem in 2019. Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, they are saturated states. Gujarat, saturated state. BJP wants some inroads into Odisha, West Bengal, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Tamil Nadu, the eastern part. This eastern part also did not vote for Narendra Modi in 2014. It resisted the wave. All the regional satraps came to power. Mamta Banerjee came to power. Naveen Patnaik came to power. Chandrasekhar Rao came to power. TDP came to power. ADMK came to power when Jayalalitha was alive. So they won those seats to ensure that what they lose in the west and north somehow gets compensated. So trust vote is also reflective of that larger political anxiety within Bharatiya Janata Party. For Congress Party, yes, it's a different thing. It's a do or die battle for them. Congress is at 44. You have a funding problem. You have an organizational problem. Then the former leaders who have made their own regional parties, they have a problem as to how they will get along with Rahul Gandhi. Mamta Banerjee herself has said that Rahul does not belong to her generation. So well, she can talk about Sonia, but she doesn't want to talk about Rahul. All those issues are there, and Rahul understands it. But I remember when Modi became the Prime Minister, a child asked him a question. So he talked about at least 10 years. He said, if you want to be the PM or something like that, it's about 2024. But this time around, after Rahul Gandhi's speech, he's saying that he would invite the Congress Party for a no trust vote even in 2024, which means that he's saying, I will not only win 2019, I will also ensure that we win 2024. So that's the difference. 10 has become 15. So a lot of political rhetoric changes. Sonia Gandhi was there throughout. That bit of aggression was there, but then she's not the face of the Congress Party. So I would say that another takeaway movement was that Deve Gowda was sitting. He was surprised that the Prime Minister was trying to praise him because saying that he was a victim. So a lot of things were there. The political equations in India, they are changing continuously before the elections, and what's happening in Lok Sabha is a reflection of that.
Right, Karthik, I was about to ask that if whatever transpired in the Parliament is, going to have a bearing on the next year's election. One of the main points that emerged in today's session was that Rahul Gandhi gave us a big headline point. He talked about that controversial deal, that Rafale jets deal, and France had to clarify on that and counter Rahul Gandhi. So now that the trust vote is done, BJP has emerged victorious. The motion motion has been rejected. What happens on this front? Has the dust settled on this issue, or will we see more of it in the coming time?
I think it's like Paul Bugle, you know. The dust has not settled. For Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the issue will be dynasty and dynasty and dynasty. For Rahul Gandhi, I think he is stuck. He has his own jublas. He is stuck to them. It's going to be Soot Boot ki sarkar. It's going to be farmers. It's going to be rich businessmen. You see, there was not a single new thing which Rahul Gandhi said. There's not a single new thing which even the Prime Minister said. Rahul Gandhi has been speaking about GST, demonetization, Soot Boot ki sarkar, farmer debt issue, the government for rich businessmen. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, on the other hand, been speaking about dynasty, Congress for Parivar, the problem which Congress created in past, emergency, all the past baggages of the Congress party. So there was nothing new. You know, there was nothing new in the in the menu. You know, there was no fresh idea. There was no fresh charge. Even the Rafale charge is very, very old. You know, please understand that on this issue, the Congress has battled it out in media with Bharatiya Janata Party. So there was nothing new. What was new was the ferocity of exchange between Rahul Gandhi and Prime Minister Modi. So the no confidence motion, from the Congress perspective, was about no confidence in Modi. From Prime Minister's perspective, it was not about other political parties. It was about his commitment to the poor, he being the underdog, and Gandhi's being elitist, and Gandhi's being the rulers of the country, and Gandhi is not being democratically elected, but people who have somehow controlled the destiny of the country by controlling a political party. So the narrative remains same. What is important here is that substantive issues got sidelined. For example, the whole issue of lynching got sidelined. You know, it was not part of the discourse somehow. The nitty-gritties of some of the social issues got sidelined. The speeches on both parts were high on rhetoric, high on fixed positions, but it was not a conversational, it was not an eclectic, I would say, debate which previously had taken place in Parliament. This was very, very different, of a completely different kind. I remember when there was a debate in Parliament, and Sushma Swaraj had taken a lot of jibes at Manmohan Singh, and Manmohan Singh came with an Urdu couplet, you know, and Sushma Swaraj, leader of opposition Lok Sabha, she laughed. So, you know, that sort of a repartee, that sort of a humorous exchange is missing. Modi did use a couple of couplets, but more than humor, I think they were far more sarcastic in nature. So it reflects that personal animosity between the Gandhis and the Modis, and it's there because the whole feeling within the BJP is that the Congress gunned for Narendra Modi, got Amit Shah arrested. They wanted to go after Modi but could not. So this animosity just completely seeps into our parliamentary tradition, and it is for this reason I don't remember when the meeting between Rahul Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi, Prime Minister has taken place. It has not taken place, you know. People would say that Sonia Gandhi is uncomfortable with LK Advani, so, you know, it would start and end with a namaste. But in this case, it has not even started or ended with a namaste. It's completely different. But the whole issue would be tomorrow, Rahul Gandhi's hug. What did his hug achieve? Was it a political stunt, or was it his Munna Bhai movement, or was it because he wanted the whole debate around him? So I think tomorrow it will be about hug, it will be about Parivar, it will be about dynasty, it will be about the Prime Minister calling Rahul Gandhi Bachpana, and it will also be about why is there so much of the word which Prime Minister used in Hindi, Jalbazi, this desire without winning an election but becoming the Prime Minister being there, and why this hurry to sit where I sit because I got elected and you have not got that mandate. So it's going to be, it shows that the elections in India in 2019 next year are going to be up close and personal between two people.
Right, Karthikeyan, and you know, there's one question that's on everyone's mind, and before I wrap up, I want to know if you know about it and if anyone knows about it. What did Prime Minister Modi tell Rahul Gandhi when he went and hugged him? Because that remains a mystery, and when he called him back and he whispered something in his ears.
Oh, absolutely. You know, sometimes these comments make big news. So before I answer your question, there used to be a time when House would get adjourned for 10 to 5 minutes. The reporters were allowed to stay put in press gallery. But then the House used to be so empty that reporters could hear actually Sonia Gandhi, I'm talking about UPA years, could hear Sonia Gandhi saying something to other minister or Rahul Gandhi speaking. It started, it was being reported. So then it was realized that this was in violation of the House, rules of the House. You only report when House is in order, when the speaker is there. You don't report off the record conversations of Lok Sabha. You can't say it happened in Lok Sabha where a House was not functioning. But it was in Lok Sabha, so it became an important news. So reporters now don't get to stay back, at least in Lok Sabha. If House gets adjourned for 5 to 10 minutes, they go out. Once it's reconvened, you come back. Now coming back to your question, I think people will definitely ask this to Rahul Gandhi on Monday as to what did Prime Minister tell you. Or Rahul Gandhi will keep it to himself to use it at later date.
Yeah, that will be
interesting. Rahul Gandhi himself has done.
Yeah.
If you remember when this whole controversy on Lalit Modi took place, Rahul Gandhi quoted Foreign Minister Sushma Swaraj of a part of a conversation he quoted, which took place in the Central Hall. Central Hall is where MPs, former and new MPs, or the current MPs, they sit. So when they were walking out, there are different galleries connecting Central Hall to Raj Sabha and Lok Sabha. So Rahul Gandhi said, Sushma Swaraj told me, "Bete, mujh pe itna hamla kyun kar rahe ho?" Which roughly translated to, "Son, why are you attacking me?"
Yes.
And he quoted this in the House. Anyway, the retort was far more powerful when Sushma had to speak. But the fact is that these conversations make for much juicy gossip and news.